gotta get out of the sun here. September 2nd, J6 updates and news. And chat. Chat is where it's at. Down at the mall here in DC, Washington DC, the capital of the free world. And things are happening fast, Patriots. Things are happening fast. This is the National Museum of American Indian. It's quite the fantastic building. Another infinitely expensive building. There's like a little nook back here, I'm wondering. These are some amazing fountains that they have out in front here. Yeah, I see some shade here, man. This is where I was thinking, right here. All right, perfect.
Nice little nook.
Lord paves out a way.
Beautiful.
We're in a little
Little nook.
Even got a seat provided by the Lord. I got a guest with me. And he's got a guest with him. We're going to do some J6 news and updates.
I'm really just here to stand by, hang out.
Alright. Not seeing chat. Let's see. Oh, let's get a watermark in there. Alright.
Yeah.
Everybody's still sleeping. Oh well. We'll get started because, man, a lot happened. A lot happened. Yesterday was one of the most jam-packed Freedom Corner nights I've ever seen. There we go. Hello, Beverly. Beverly, and it looks like you got another person there with you in your emoji shot. Or what do you call that picture with your icon, your
Watermark?
no, your picture that's in there with your name. They call it something. They got a word
What do they
for
call it?
I don't know. What do they call that, Beverly? The picture of you and your guy there. All right, so I got with me David from Freedom Express Media. He's a regular down at the Freedom Corner and a freedom fighter all over the place, man. This guy travels more than I do. You just got back from Georgia. Oh yeah, you got a little,
I got a
little hair spike going on.
Oh well.
You just got back from Georgia, like when? A month? Last Friday, wasn't it?
Yeah. Was that last week?
I can't even remember anymore.
I know.
Things are
all
happening
running
so
together.
fast that it's a blur.
It's all running together.
Yeah. All I do know is every day we're getting stuff done. We are definitely getting stuff done.
There we are.
So let's start with last night. We had some bad news in court. We were down at the courthouse when 2 sentences were handed down by the judges here in this DC courthouse, which is right across the mall that way, 2 blocks. The highest court in DC, other than the Supreme Court, handed down a sentence of 18 years for Ethan Nordine and 10 years for Dominic Pizzola with terrorist enhancements. Now, you remember when terrorists used to hijack airplanes and kill people and take hostages, like at the Olympics in Beirut? And that's what the word terrorist used to mean now. Now the word terrorist means you show up at the Capitol expecting to stand up for your First Amendment rights. You show up prepared to meet violence because violence has been thrown at you all summer long prior to that by people who apparently were allowed to do this violence on us. And
or if you're a parent, you go to a school board meeting and ask what your kids are being taught. That makes you a terrorist too nowadays.
yeah, you're a terrorist now. So they're changing the meanings of words right in front of us, all right? And that's what they do. They try to bust your paradigm. You got this outlook of what the world is, and they just throw shit at you until you can't even try to wrap your head around it. And it's called a paradigm busting event. So once again, these guys, what did they do? Touch a bike rack? I think the one guy did break a window.
He did assist in breaking a window.
He assisted in breaking a window. He picked up a Hollywood prop on the ground and used it to break a window. And that was Ethan, I think. 18 years.
Dominique.
That was Dominic?
Yeah.
18 years or 10 years for breaking a window.
And he's the one that got the least amount of time.
That's right. Ethan Nordine got 18, and 2 days ago, they sentenced Joe Biggs to 17 years and Zachary Rail to 15 years. These were all the Proud Boys. And there's still one more sentence to be handed out. That's Enrique Tario. And that will be next Tuesday. So we'll be at the courthouse with flags and signs, ripping on all the press and media that's out there, telling them how much we hate them and how much they've been lying to us. And that's what we're doing here today. Or not today. Today's Saturday, so nobody's at the courthouse.
Right.
Today we're out on the mall. There's some events going on here. We're checking out what's going on. We got flags flying. We're spreading J6 information out to everybody. We also had another piece of terrible news yesterday. A J6er, his name is George Meacham. His name will now be added to the end of our roll call list. And if you know what that is at the end of our roll call list, you're going to understand what happened to George Meacham. George Meacham was born June 16th, 01.
Is that Jordan Meek?
No, Meacham.
You sure?
Positive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just read his obituary.
Oh, wow. I didn't even. This is news to me. I didn't even hear this last night.
Oh, you did? Yeah, it just spread out, and then Tammy made an announcement finally towards the middle of the night. George was from Pleasant Valley, Utah, where his parents had a ranch there. He grew up working on this ranch. He was only 22 years old. Went to J6. I'm not sure what his charges were or whatnot. And he died August 28th. And I believe his funeral is today. So George already been in my prayers. I hope you pray for him and his family, that they get over this. Once again, we have the DOJ, the Biden DOJ, literally scaring people to death is all I can say. George was a great American kid, man. He was into horses, working on that ranch. I mean, he had a charmed life if he was growing up on a ranch out in Utah. Hunting, fishing. He was a history buff. He liked cooking soup, like just ranch life. He was very much into music, and he obviously was very much into his country, because he came here on January 6th and stood for all of us. Stood for all of us against this regime that took over that election. Thank you, Sylvia. I'm going to post this up here so everybody else can see it that isn't on the chat. So our hearts, our prayers are for the Meacham family, and just another travesty from the Biden regime. When do we call it, folks? When do we call it, Patriots? Let's see, we got court updates from Mickey and Nicole and Tammy. They were sitting in the courtrooms all week for the Brandon Fellows trial and the Proud Boys sentencing that's happened. And not good news there. Mickey had some choice words for Judge Kelly, not reasonable. Judge Kelly, when he's looking for juror members, the juror members are actually, the city of DC is bringing charges against all the defendants on the J6 issues. And Judge Kelly, when they're looking for jurors, some of the jurors are saying, well, I don't know if I can be impartial because I was, you know, you put a curfew out for us. We were scared. The whole city. The news just had it on 24/7 for that whole day, that next day. The people of this city were petrified by the media in this city. And now they are the plaintiffs, the city of DC versus the Proud Boys. The city of DC versus Ryan Zink, Matt Da Silva, Brian Jackson, Jonathan Manafo, Larry Brock, Jessica Watkins. All these patriots, the city of DC is the plaintiffs. So when you're sitting into a jury, you're supposed to tell them if you're not going to be able to make an unbiased decision. But Judge Kelly asks them, dig deep. You can do this. You can be unbiased. When we're trying to add terrorist enhancements onto a guy who broke a window or a guy who walked into a building while the police officers told him to come on in, just make sure you leave on the other side. These were not terrorists. These were not terrorists. And yet the whole country is being asked to believe that these men are terrorists and they were trying to take over the country. That's what the word insurrection means. Did we ever hear that word before, J6? No. It's another one of them word hypnotisms they throw at us. So we're just waiting for America to stop hitting the snooze alarm.
It's the water bottle insurrection. It doesn't make no sense.
Nobody shows up with weapons. They got water bottles. They're picking up movie props off the ground, batons, zip ties, police shields. You know, all the equipment was left on the ground for them. And we all know that the Hollywood producers trained CIA people, FBI people. So
you got film crews planted right where all the action is. They knew where it was going to happen. It was all.
That's right. The LA Times reporter and photographer went into that Capitol. No charges on him. Who's that other douchebag? Sullivan, John Sullivan, was in the hallway with Ashley Babbitt. No charges. No charges. Everyone else in that room's got charges.
He's actually in Ukraine as a journalist now.
So this guy's in Ukraine.
Yeah.
So he's an official spook photographer putting out the fake news, the fake propaganda that this regime wants to hoodwink us all with. So we got to pray for discernment. We got to pray for guidance. It's the only way out of this, Patriots. It's the only way out. We got a call from another stream of consciousness from Matt Da Silva, talking about the terror enhancements. Terrorists now use bike racks, according to this court over here. If you're trying to take over the government with no weapons, but you touch a bike rack, that's a terrorist enhancement with a deadly weapon. Does that make sense to anybody?
Touch a Trump sign going over your head, that's assault.
Yeah. You're in a big crowd and this massive sign starts coming over your head. You hold your hand up to keep it from hitting you in the head, and now you're a terrorist because you grabbed that sign. You put your hand on that sign for 5 seconds, you're going to spend 4, 5, 18 years in jail. It's absolute insanity, folks. It's absolute insanity. And if everybody knew the truth about this stuff, they would be up in rages right now, as we are. But we got to keep our shit together. We had a guest named Jeff Zink. He is a man from Arizona, and his son is a J6er heading to trial next week on Tuesday, I think is his jury selection. Another terrorist. Yeah, I don't know what he did. He put his hand, he opened a door. I don't know what he did. Jeff Zink is running for the Arizona House of Representatives. He represents Arizona 3rd District. And this guy gave us an interview that just made our jaws hit the ground at the end of Freedom Corner. All right, so go into my video from yesterday. Everything's time-stamped that I'm talking about. And if you want to hear specifically what happened last night on any of these topics, hit the timestamp. It'll take you to that spot right in the video. And that's a good reason to subscribe, because I'm not sure if you can do that if you're not subscribed to the channel. Jeff Zink is running for office there. He's an election fraud expert. He has been to Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania kicked him out, Arizona, Texas, all
the main states that had the most fraud.
Yeah. So this guy is an expert on all this stuff, and he knows exactly how to explain what went wrong and where. It wasn't just one ballot stuffing event. It was multiple events. Fraudulent, ghost voters was one of the things. These people sign up and register to vote 3 months before the election, and then a month after the election, they cancel their vote. He found 200,000 of those in Arizona alone. And he spoke during Freedom Corner to the whole group, and then later David and I hung out and talked to this guy for almost an hour. And he has got more events in the future that sounded very, very interesting.
Yes, it is.
So, go there. I can talk about it for an hour, or you can just go there and hear it right out of his mouth for an hour. We had some good news about Jessica Watkins. You know her whole story. She was moved out of the men's prison in Oklahoma City. It was an outrage, and she was even put into the men's room, or the men's prison there in Oklahoma City. She's a J6er. They kept her in solitary confinement pretty much the whole time in DC here for 2 years. Her sentence, I think, is 8 years. I can't remember what her sentence is, but she's in jail. She got convicted and sentenced. They're moving her out. They're trying to find a place to put her in the Bureau of Prisons, quagmire, and we all got to keep an eye on it. We're looking to activate patriots in all these areas. It's hard to keep track of them once they leave DC. So we need people near Oklahoma City to try to find out. Jessica actually has a liaison, an officer that tracks her movements, who's in charge of things associated with Jessica Watkins being moved around. So we got to get involved with these people. This is where we got to activate patriots. We have to activate, or this doesn't end. We got to do what we can. We do not want a civil war. We can do this legally. We can do this peacefully. And the truth is on our side. We have nothing to fear. Nothing to fear.
Right.
We got a phone call from Brian Jackson and Jonathan Manafo. We had Susan Monk. I mean, you gotta love Suzanne, man. She is on fire. She is a whirlwind of activity when it comes to getting things done with the J6 issue. She activated right after J6 and she lives here. She's been in the thick of it from day one. She has just put together with Helena a J6 pledge that you can approach your representatives with to find out where they stand on Trump and the J6 issue. If they are not on board that election was stolen, they got to go. They got to go. The Republican Party is going to talk you into that we're accepting that election, but we're not. We are not. That election, just because they got away with it doesn't mean it wasn't fraud. It wasn't a scam. Jessica Watkins was sentenced to 8.5 years. Unbelievable. She's a patriot. I don't care what you think about the whole thing. She's opening my mind up to things. She's a human being, okay? Human beings have rights. You're in charge of your life. She's in charge of her life. She's walking a path, and God will do with her what he will, just as God will do with you what he will. But you're the only person in charge of you, and you're not in charge of anybody else. We had some people in the chat yesterday just like livid about this, and I don't care what you think. You're in charge of you. I'm in charge of me. That's what it is. That's God's plan. That's the way it is. Jessica Watkins is a human being. Jesus loves her too, and he'll have his way with her. God willing. We're praying for her. We had an issue A warning about 2 other J6s that are currently in prison. There's a guy named Larry Brock in Springfield, Missouri right now, who's been in solitary confinement for 38 days. So I do know there's at least one guy in Missouri out there, a small water guy. Let's see what you can find out, activate there, and then see if you can get a hold of the Springfield, Missouri Bureau of Prisons and find out the status of Larry Brock. How you doing, guys?
All right. So unfortunately, you can't use the tripods on Smithsonian grounds.
Whoa, really? All right. And what's this I'm hearing? Hold on, sir. What's that?
So the tripods you can't use on Smithsonian property.
Really?
Correct. Safety concern.
Safety concern?
Yes, sir.
Are we putting anyone in peril here?
Potentially.
Really?
Sir.
How could that be?
Potentially.
Potentially.
Right, potentially. It's a safety concern. Our policy is you can't have tripods, any sort of support devices for your cameras on our property. So feel free to do your podcast, do online. Matter of fact, you record me right now. That's outstanding.
Yeah.
But you can't use the tripods.
Yeah.
All right?
So we can film and stuff.
Correct. You just cannot use the tripods.
Can't use a tripod. But then the picture's all shaky.
Well, unfortunately, you got to have a steady hand in order to do that, but you cannot use a tripod.
What if I put the tripod up here?
I'm going to ask both of you to remove the devices from the tripods at this time.
And whose property is this?
The Smithsonian Institution. You're at a Smithsonian museum right now.
Okay, I was under the impression this was U.S. government.
Yeah, it's a federal facility, right? But this is Smithsonian Institution Museum, so you're within our jurisdiction.
Smithsonian Institution Museum. Okay,
Probably seen the
so
signs
like,
everywhere,
then,
so you know.
what are you? The Smithsonian Police? Smithsonian Institute Office of Protective Services. Okay, all right, guys. I think rather than deal with your tyranny, we're just going to move on.
Sounds good.
All right.
Good day.
Well, there you go. I think that would happen.
I didn't either.
About, well, maybe, where does the Smithsonian property end?
I don't know.
Maybe we could go like right here.
Maybe.
All right, because we're almost done.
This is the sidewalk. Right?
Like, how about right here? It looks like there's a line. It looks like a line here, so I think this might be all right.
Maybe.
All right. Okay, here we go. Maybe I should go get a clarification, or they'll find us. They'll find us if they want to. Okay, we had our daily public humiliation from our government, so now we're sitting out on the curb by the street. We also had a call out for Howard Richardson, the 76-year-old man in a prison in Pennsylvania. Apparently he's in solitary confinement again. He's a convicted J6er, 4 years he got convicted to. He is also a witness, direct witness of election fraud in Pennsylvania, in Bucks County, where he saw 2 pickup truck loads of ballots being driven into the counting central area. After you vote at your little election area, there's a central counting area to each of the precincts. They put all the ballots in a bag. They all drive there after the election's over at 7 or 8 o'clock, and that's where they count everything. They got real, like experts that open the bags and count the ballots and whatnot. And Howard went to that central area because he worked for the election and witnessed a pickup truck or 2 coming in there with boxes in the back, asked a couple questions, got a snippy answer, and the pickup truck doesn't burn out and leaves. So, and he reported that to every one of his congresspeople, his representatives, and then he went to J6 because he saw it with his own eyes. He knows the election was screwed up there. He knows it. He saw it with his own eyes. He came here and stood up. They busted him. Some guy walked into his flagpole like 3 times. So, 74-year-old man, that was probably a terrorist attack with a flagpole, maybe. I don't know. He's in jail for 4 years in solitary right now. We are deeply concerned about him, and we've been keeping track on Howard because I'm a Pennsylvania guy, and we got other Pennsylvania people activated in Lewisburg specifically. And I think the Lewisburg Vigil is gonna put out an update on Howard, I believe, today, later on. And then we got a phone call from Joe Biggs, who was just sentenced to 17 years 2 days prior. Joe Biggs last night said he was going to be on InfoWars at 1 o'clock with General Flynn. So I don't know, that must have happened, or it must be like 1 o'clock now, right?
Yeah, close to it, probably.
All right. And then we got a phone call with Ethan Nordine.
1 o'clock exactly.
All right, so check out InfoWars. I think Joe Biggs is doing a call-in with General Flynn on InfoWars. That's what the information that he gave us yesterday. So we'll see what happens with that. And then we got a call from Ethan Nordine, who also just got sentenced that day, yesterday, to 18 years in prison. It's horrendous. We were at the courthouse when everybody was getting out. I met Dominic's mother. It's horrible. It's horrible. These people, for every J6er that's in jail, it's a family behind them. There's children. Joe Biggs just begged before the judge issued his sentence that he was able to just drive his kid to school one day. He has a 6-year-old daughter. She's going to be 25 years old when he gets out if he does 17 years. No mercy from the judge. Another guy had his wife and daughter show up for the sentencing because they thought they were going to get a visit yesterday. Yesterday was the day for visits. Who was that?
That was Dominic Pizzola, his old lady, Lisa McGee, and his daughter were there to visit. But that did not work out because they rescheduled his sentencing and it interfered with him. He was back at the jail, but they weren't able to get him back into the system before the visitation, so they weren't able to visit with him due to that. So,
how can these judges be any more heartless? I mean, it's unreal. This is borderline demonic, I think.
Right.
So I'd say we're much less of a hazard right here than we were over there, man. I mean, did anybody walk past us while we were sitting over there? And now I got scooters and bikes zipping by me. So good work, Smithsonian Police. We also got information on Julian Cotter. His family is in dire need of some assistance right now. We have J6 family support networks set up all over the place, or a few that if you're in a position to donate, I mean, patriots, we all got to jump in here. I'm not a money guy. I don't have a lot of money. And the money I have is funding me to stay here and bring these messages to you and to be boots on the ground at that courthouse in Freedom Corner and on the mall today. If you're a patriot, you got money, you want to help out this situation, we got to take care of our J6ers after they get these horrendous sentences. We're going to keep fighting for them. I don't think these guys are really going to spend 18 years in jail. I don't think we're going to go 18 years. We ain't going to put up with it for 18 years. And right now we got 2 options and we're thoroughly exhausting option 1. So I'll just leave it at that. So today we got an event going on over here at the mall. There's our trucks parked over there. And then over here they got a DJ and they're having a thing about the missing children. Make sure the stream is good. Is the sound okay, everybody? Can you hear me with the food truck running here? All right, let me post some of these things here. Here's Julian Cotter's Give, Send, Go. That's right. Plus, he's being sued for $10 million in civil court for Brian Sicknick's death. So there's a couple things I don't ever want you to forget, Patriots, and that is the lie that Brian Sicknick's death was. Yes, he died. He died the next day. Thank you, Bonnie. Sound is good. Video good. All right, thanks. Brian Sicknick died the next day of a stroke. But I think even before he was dead, they were telling us that he got hit in the head with a fire extinguisher. That was a complete lie. His autopsy report has no head wounds, no injuries. He died from a stroke. And then they cremated his body. They had his ashes at a flag folded up, lying in state, or that's not lying in state, but a big ceremony in the rotunda of the Capitol building for 3 days. Then they had a big procession where every cop and interlapping police agency in DC lined the streets while they drove his ashes to the cemetery. It was a complete lie that lasted, a complete piece of theater that lasted for 4 or 5 days. And does everybody know that he was not killed with a fire extinguisher? He died of a stroke. And not only that, he had the stroke symptoms on January 6th, and medical patriots that were there brought the attention to his comrades, the Capitol Police, said, hey, that guy is having stroke symptoms. You better go help him out. They gave Brian Sicknick a bottle of water and told him to go sit down. Medical aid denied. So you make up your own mind, America. Who killed Brian Sicknick? Where at? Oh yeah.
Lester, ACB, and Lester, Rose Rider.
Well, we like to watch them squirm for a while. And then I got the best mods in the universe. You know, you don't want to kill it too fast.
We're giving each other shit.
Let's get the trolls arguing with each other, dude. Hi, Cora. Alright, do with them what you will, mods. Oh, man. And then we got some other huge event being set up right now over right in front of the Capitol around the reflecting pool. And they were setting up barricades last night. We watched one guy drive the truck into one of the barricades. Dude's driving a brand new 16-foot stake body truck with bike racks on it. And he starts dragging a piece of concrete around. Then he got hooked on it. He backs up with it. He pulls forward with it. We're just laughing at him. Finally got it off. You know how it is. And I might add, I don't know if they all spoke English. So you're being replaced, workers. You're being replaced. Yeah, you know what I'm not doing, ACB? I'm talking about you. And I'm not talking about you either, Lester. Polyester. So, wow, man, we got through that in 33 minutes this time. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's a pretty good update.
Usually
I don't know how you keep track of all this stuff.
It takes time to put it together. It's
You
silly.
write it down like through the week or what?
Well, no, and I go through the video from Freedom Clip and then timestamp it. Or Silly does it. Silly does it sometimes. I do it. She does it way better than I do.
I wonder how she does that.
You just go into the comments and put down a time, like 55:20.
Just write it in there.
And the comment highlights it and turns it blue. And then you write like 55:20 at the Silver Club. And then you just click on the 55:20, it goes right to 55:20 in the video.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude, they're a resource that we haven't been utilizing.
Yeah. Silly, you can teach my mom how to do that.
Silly is all over, and Sunkill's coming. She's on X-Ray's channel, and I see her everywhere. I see her everywhere. She's one hard-working patriot. God bless you, Silly, for him. We love you. You're a patriot that stood up. Same with you, Sunkist and Bonnie. We're all working together. We're all learning. And then we just got like YouTube school going on here. David got me going on YouTube. And we got Sean going on YouTube with USA 76.4 Ashley. He's back in Chicago, but he's already talking about.
He's dying to be back down here. That's crazy.
Yeah. And pretty soon Congress is back in town, so it was kind of slow on the Congress side of things, but man, we're gonna ramp it up over here now.
Right there. Speak of the devil.
There's Sean. Hey, what's up, Sean?
What's up, buddy?
How's it going, bud? All right. Yeah, we need our mods. We need everybody. We need everybody's skills here. We need computer geeks to look at J6 stuff, to start identifying these infiltrators that started the riots there. I mean, they weren't dressed up in terrorist outfits. They were dressed up as Trump people, but they weren't dressed up like Trump people were dressed themselves up as. There were insiders within the police that knew what was going on, and then most of the other just dumbass cops that didn't know what was going on. And I mean, this is all coming out in the court cases and everything, man. A lot of it's provable. Oh, I would add that Brandon Fellows actually mentioned Ashley Babbitt and Roseanne Boylan's death in his trial and got overruled. So you're not allowed to repeat the fact that Michael Byrd shot Ashley Babbitt or that Roseanne Boylan was beaten to death. And both of those events filmed by multiple angles. You're not allowed to say that in this DC court. And there's no justice for Ashley right now. She was a 14-year Air Force veteran, stood for us on January 6th. Now we stand for them. And we're not backing down till this is over. Till every one of these guys who are innocent is put out of jail and recompensed. They got to get some type of restitution. They're giving up the ultimate sacrifice.
They'll never get that time back with their family, the loss of the relationship with their children. They'll never be able to be reconciled with.
Right.
They got to get at least justice.
They got to get justice, and that's up to us, people. We have zero representation in the halls of Congress right now because it's been 2.5 years. Where are they? Where are they, man? They're not standing up for us. That's for sure. Another thing I would like nobody to ever forget for a while is that there's a pedophile in the White House right now. That's all there is to it, man. His daughter's diary. He was taking showers with her when she was 12 years old. He sniffs little girls right in front of cameras. People want to believe it. They don't see that. He tells stories at swimming pools about how he likes kids jumping on his lap, how they stroke his leg when the hairs on his leg turn blonde in the sun. We got a pedophile in the White House, America. What are you going to do about it? It's a fact. It's
the world's
a fact.
laughing at us right now, and we're doing nothing about it.
I want to see that other camera angle of Brandon Falls when he dumped that bike in Delaware. There's another camera angle.
Oh, yeah.
He dumped that bike right in front of a 10-year-old girl. And he was trying to act goofy for her because he wanted to, fondle her belly button and sniff her hair. I mean, it's sick. It's sick. And it ends now. We stand up now. Well, that's all I got. I'm getting low on battery power. Starting to wonder if I'm going to make it to the end of the day here. So yeah, I gotta pull this one off. I only got one more battery.
We got another battery.
All right. So we're probably gonna have another stream before Freedom Corner here, because there is a lot going on, a lot of cool stuff to see. And it was a big night at Freedom Corner. If you got the time and you want to go through it, we did have a anarchy disruptor come in last night with a bullhorn, and her free speech was to just run the siren at us all day long. So, free speech in DC. Yeah, the cops protected us. We didn't get attacked. But we had to listen to that and try to get the phone calls and the information out with this siren blaring in the background. So maybe you want to skip it. I don't know. It's for the world to see at this point, David, right? We just got to keep taking steps forward. And we keep talking about this. God lays a path out for you, okay? I don't know what's going to happen today till I wake up and see what's going to happen. So today, when I wake up, it's like a little mini paradise right around me. We got parking spots. It's a beautiful day. Some dude set up cool tunes right there. We got the flags flying. We're talking to people about J6. We're getting harassed by museum police. It's a good day in Washington.
Very good.
So just implore you, Patriots, if you're not in the game right now, get in the game. Now's the time. It's only going to get worse later, and we gotta flex our muscles here in America. So thanks for contributing, everybody. I love it what you're saying in the chat. We got stuff going on in Florida. We got to get Patriots there to help them because the government's not going to do it. We got Lahaina going on. What's going on in Lahaina? Where's the children? How come all these cars are burnt in the middle of parking lots?
Nothing else around them is burnt?
Yeah, not the first time.
What's that all about?
Not the first time,
How can
man.
it be a forest fire when there's a car in the middle of a parking lot? Nothing around is burnt, but the whole car is melted. Like what?
Right, pools of aluminum
I mean,
coming out from underneath the car.
Americans are sometimes stupid, but come on now. We're not that stupid.
Well, this is the 6th or 8th time they've done it, so I don't know. And it goes back all the way to World Trade Center. I mean, those same Pride cars were found multiple blocks away from the World Trade Centers on 9/11. This is something I've known about for 21 years now. Maybe America is dumb. I don't know. I hope not.
I watched a video where somebody was trying to explain how they do that, and somehow the frequency will go to a tower, and any like smart item or anything with like internet on it or whatever, if it picks that up, will automatically start.
That makes sense. Because that would explain why these houses and cars are just burnt to a crisp.
Right.
And it looks like the fire was at the car and it didn't even spread away from it. We got to find answers here. We need scientists, patriot scientists, to look at this stuff. Nobody's going to pay you, but we got to get to the bottom of this.
We can't just let them keep killing us.
Your treasure will be in heaven.
They're killing us, patriots. Killing us. And for what? For their land? For whatever it is that they want to do with it? It's just ridiculous. It has to stop.
Yeah, the gal that showed up with the bullhorn last night was actually at J6.
Yeah.
We have photograph evidence of her standing on one of the upper balconies there, which means she had to walk in the building to get to that balcony.
I don't sure think so. I don't know how else to get about it.
And she hasn't been arrested.
Well,
But she's there every night protesting us.
harassing everybody else that may have or may not have been outside or inside the Capitol that day, but she thinks she should be able to get away with it. Why is that? I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Just like John Sullivan, it's like the LA Times reporters. They don't get arrested. They're there. They went into the building. That's what our guys are getting busted for. Basically, we're at war. We are at war. We're the only side taking casualties. How long do we let it go? Every fentanyl death is Joe Biden's fault. Every illegal murder that's happening, illegal alien murders that's happening right now, we're under attack. He's got his FBI after our parents at the school board meetings. We're under attack right now. You either see it or you don't. We're getting tired of all sleepyheads that won't wake up and keep hitting that snooze alarm, man. It's been going on since 9/11 and before that. Who shot Kennedy? That was 60 years ago. I mean, when are we going to wake up?
It's been going on for a long while.
Yeah. Yeah, I think JFK Jr.'s dead, dude. I don't know.
Right.
This guy thinks JFK Jr. is going to show up at the corner. What a maroon. It's all right. I got to pull out, man. Battery's finished. Patriots, thanks for hanging with me. Thanks for enduring the sirens last night. Keep up the good work, and we'll catch you on the next live stream. This is Jericho, over and out.